Hi everyone, let's start where the last video left off, and there might be a good reason for that. As always, after a big job like this, you should check everything to see if you missed anything or if there's any leaks. And we have a leak. In fact, there were two leaks, but I wasn't aware of the other one at that time. The first leak was a bit unexpected and coming from the transmission cooler hose. At first I was a little worried and I turned off the engine. After a quick inspection, the leak itself wasn't that severe, so I decided to pressurize the hydraulics so I could get the XM back on its wheels. My local hydraulic shop replaced the old hose for me. I didn't feel myself replacing it because of lack of space. I would like to point out that putting a cable tie on the banjo bolt is a great trick to avoid losing the copper washers. The another leak was from the brake return line that probably broke when the engine was installed. I made a new return line and it should be more serviceable if needed. The only old hose I'll be reusing is for the ABS, and when I replaced the Dojo a few years ago, I had to extend the old return line because it was so brittle, so that one can be reused. The installment is the usual, by that I mean awkward. To make my life easier, my approach is to do some yoga. Even though I try my best to not hit anything with my legs, I wouldn't worry too much if I did, and that is the best thing when you own a car that's far from being in pristine condition. As always, in such cramped engine bay, you navigate more by feeling than by seeing what you are doing. Even though it looks difficult, it's surprisingly easy once you get hang of it. Once you have the return line in place, the rest goes as Haynes says. I also recommend, every time you have to remove the LHM tank, clean the filters as well, since it's a quick and easy thing to do. I said earlier that I had two leaks, but to tell you the truth, there was a third one. In a way, when I mixed two brown connectors, the fuel line was overpressurized and the last old fuel hose started spraying fuel. As you can see, the braiding on the fuel line has failed, so it's good time to replace it, and I don't know why I didn't do it when I replaced the other lines a while ago. I'm using the same type of hose that I used in the past, as it has proven to be more reliable than the most of the modern stuff out there. And if you are interested, here's the link to that video. Last thing to do before MOT is to refurbish the summer wheels for my XM. At first I wanted to polish the rims and paint the rest of the wheels with a grey spray paint, but then I thought I might as well do it right and paint them with a paint can. I'm pretty happy how they turned out, and even though they are not perfect, they're almost too good for my car. If anyone's interested, the code for the paint I used is Nissan Dark Grey 933. I think the color is pretty close to the original, but it might be a little darker. Either way, I personally like it. Just as I was leaving to my booked MOT, I heard that one of the drop links is making noise. I quickly drove back and replaced it with one of my spares. So I took the XM to the MOT and it went through. I mean, the MOT guy's poking stick went through my rear subframe, so let's fix that, shall we? Okay, I wasn't expecting something like this, even though I knew this subframe is pretty much shut. Here in Finland we have quite strict rules for welding subframes, but legally I have few things going for me. The first thing is that you are allowed to weld subframes on cars registered before 1998, and mine is registered in 91. The other rule is that if you can't buy a new or good used subframe, the inspector may give you a permission to weld the subframe. After cleaning the area, this is what we are dealing with. This part of the subframe is made out of two sections which overlap each other. Since the metal of the subframe is so thick, there is no way I could make these sections out of one piece. Before I start mindlessly cutting things, I make some templates of this section with CAD. So my approach is to make each section out of multiple pieces of metal and then grind the welds down. Here's the end result. It's not the prettiest, but same goes for the rest of the subframe. And after a few coats of underseal, it looks almost as good as new. It's been almost a year since I put the engine back in this XM, and I've done now almost 10,000 kilometers with only few minor issues, but more on that another time. Thanks for watching and see you!